Alright. Hopefully this is working. It's party time for nerds. I had some great news today from YouTube, and so I'm gonna do a live stream tonight, a little different, a little unusual. First time I've actually done this in this channel. Gonna be showing Stage 9. This was a discontinued mod, or I'm not even sure if you call it a mod, a fan-made creation. Some loving fans who love Star Trek put together a VR tour of the Enterprise. And so, gonna walk around here a bit. Oh, good, we got people showing up in the chat. Hey, Sean. So, I'm able to see a chat window here in VR. I'm pretty sure you guys are not able to see it, so hopefully it won't be too obnoxious or obstructive. Because if you were able to see it, it would be pretty obnoxious and obstructive. So, yeah, there's that. So, basically, this is a mod that was, or I keep calling it a mod, but really a standalone project that was created in Unreal Engine by some very fanatical nerds who wanted to create a walk-around simulation of the Enterprise D from the Star Trek Next Generation television show. And that's what they did. This was freely available, and they got up to about version 10, and then unfortunately they received a cease and desist from CBS, and CBS told them, you can't do that, you're infringing on our copyright, so they had to shut it down. So yeah, copyright law is a serious thing, and corporations will go after you, even if you're not selling it. I mean, this was freely available. They did this just for fun, because they could, on their free time. This was not any kind of paid product. They weren't giving advertisements with it. They weren't making any money on it. In fact, it probably cost them money to host it. But CBS is pretty strict with the Star Trek license. In fact, they issued some pretty strict rules for people who make fan films, little short films, homages, and fan fiction films set in the Star Trek universe. They came up with a lengthy list of rules that you have to abide by, some of which are kind of ridiculous, to be honest. And it was obviously targeted at a few very professional productions that were, in some ways, many of the fans, myself included, felt better than what they're offering now for Star Trek shows. So, because some of these were actors who were actually professional actors who were volunteering their time for productions, and one of the rules was, for example, you can't have anyone in your fan film who was previously in a CBS or Paramount Star Trek production. They were actually having guest stars on some of these fan films who had previously starred on Star Trek, both major characters and minor characters. The guy who played the original Apollo in the original TOS series from the 60s, he actually guest starred on one of these shows, just as an example, and that kind of thing was not so kosher with CBS. So the same philosophy was brought to bear to this project, and unfortunately it was shut down. This is the last version that was released for VR, version 9, and I've done a little hacking, because unfortunately if you had version 9 of VR Star Trek here, this is called, the project itself is called Stage 9, and if you had that final version, you will notice that all the characters would normally have Santa hats on. It was a little gag they did on that version. It wasn't intended to be permanent, but little did they know they were about to receive a cease and desist letter from CBS. So they never got to release an updated version that either included an option to turn the Santa hats off or just removed the Santa hats. Oops. Go away. So that was kind of, intrusive to everyone who was now stuck with this final version that had the Santa hats on. Fortunately, it turns out it's not that hard to get rid of them if you know how to mod Unreal Engine, which I didn't. But I did find an unlisted YouTube video that shows step-by-step how to do it, and I think that they're not listing it for fear of the same thing, a cease and desist letter from CBS. Maybe CBS will hit me, I don't know, I hope not. They certainly would hit me if I tried to distribute this. So unfortunately, if anyone asks, no, I can't give you the download for this, even though I have it, it's definitely not allowed to be distributed at this point. You will get a cease and desist from CBS at the very least. So I'm hoping that I can skate by with a video just showing what this project was. And there's a petition out there on change.org to try to petition CBS to reinstate this mod. It's had over 3,000 signatures so far and climbing. And I encourage you all to go check that out and sign it if you get a chance, if you feel like supporting these creators, because in my opinion, yes, CBS has the right certainly to enforce their copyright. They can issue a takedown request. It's their license, even though this wasn't being sold, even though it wasn't a commercial product in any way, shape, or form, and it was just a fan love letter to Star Trek. They have every right to say, no, you can't play with that. You know, we're going to take that away from you. They can do that. That's their right. But I think that puts them in a bad light with the fans, especially the older fans who enjoyed the older series. And I think they should have let it stand as free advertising, to be honest. So anyway, hopefully now that it seems like things are getting a little more clear with the CBS license, I guess. I think I heard something about like CBS and Viacom are coming back together. The Star Trek license was divided up among multiple companies at one point, and it seems like it's starting to gel back together now. So hopefully, we can see a more cohesive brand, I guess. That led to some issues. Like the people who had the rights to make the movies didn't have the rights to make the TV shows, and vice versa, and they had to sort of stay separate from each other. So anyway, we're gonna have a look around here on the virtual Enterprise, the next generation Enterprise here, and just see what this project offered. So yeah, so Joseph in the chat, yeah, why don't people just create their own fictional worlds and bypass the little problem? I mean, that's the road they're going to go down, and you know, I think a lot of people are walking, a lot of hardcore fans of Star Trek who work on projects like this are walking away from it for that very reason, and it's unfortunate. You know, it didn't have to go that way. But anyway, in the good news of side of free speech issues, I received a letter today from YouTube informing me they will not be taking down my FE Core video, that it does not violate their privacy guidelines. FE Core has officially lost their battle against my channel. So yay, hooray, time to break out the party favors and celebrate. So that's kind of why I'm in a good mood tonight and felt like doing this. So yeah, I went ahead and modded the version 9 of Stage 9 here to take off the Santa hats off the NPCs. Seems to have worked. Some of these NPCs, as you can see, are actually, I think they're randomly generated. It's a little easy to hit the comm badge. So I think some of these NPCs are pseudo-randomly generated. They're actual facial models and everything. This guy's got a little strange 5 o'clock shadow going on there. Little goofy, I guess, but you know, what can you do? It's procedural generation. But some of them are fixed models, like Commander Data here from the series. It's not a bad model. They got the golden eyes on him and everything. And good hair model, I suppose. Easier to see without the Santa hat on, for sure. You can also go into all the rooms and decks. We're going to take tours here. It's rather interesting what they've done here. So, oops, door's closed on me. Here's Picard's ready room, and the man of the hour himself, Captain Picard, sitting at his desk and reading, I guess, the crew members' Facebook profiles. Okay, that's cool. And he's drinking a cup of tea, Earl Grey, hot, I assume. So that's cool. So yeah, you can interact with a lot of the stuff. Yeah, and the music. That's a good point there, Sean, about the music. Actually, the music was created by the people who made this. It sounds like Star Trek music, but it's actually original compositions made to sound like Star Trek music. Hey, P&K Space Injury, thanks, man. It was great news that I received today. So FE Core has officially lost their privacy complaint. I also, it was in response to an email I sent them detailing the situation, pointing out that the information that they claim is private information is not only public information on their website, but they link to their website on their YouTube channel. So they can't claim to strike me for a privacy violation when they linked to it themselves on their own YouTube channel. You can't do that. In fact, the privacy complaint form specifically asks, was the information copied from your channel? The answer to that question is yes. They answered no. If they had answered yes, the privacy complaint form would have been immediately rejected, and they would have received an email informing them that it was not a privacy violation, since they released the information themselves. The information was on their website. Their About page shows their pictures and their names, and of the 7 public board members. And apparently, since they're trying to be a nonprofit organization, they have to make that board public. That's my understanding anyway. And they did, and they linked to it on their channel. So they can't do a take backsies and say, oops, nope, that's private information, and strike everyone who already showed it. Additionally, last I checked, it was still up there. They've made no effort to take it down. So you can't bait people like that and then strike them for privacy violations. Obviously, that's an abuse of the privacy complaint system, and the system does warn you that if you abuse the privacy complaint system, you can lose your channel for it. So we'll see what happens next with that drama. I'm hoping they also reverse the privacy complaints that they struck against Slice Barkane's channel and possibly some other channels as well. I'm not sure what the final disposition was on, say, Red's channel or Steve McRae's channel or some of these other channels. I know some of Red's videos were pulled down. I'm not sure if any of those were for privacy or if he did that himself before the 48-hour period was up. When you receive a notification of a privacy violation or complaint, they give you 48 hours to take it down yourself before they will make a decision as to whether take it down and infract you or not. So anyway, yeah, here's something you never got to see on the show. What was this side room? Well, I think it's supposed to be Picard's personal bathroom, but it's just a closet. There's nothing there. And of course his replicator where he would make his tea on the show. They did a really good job detailing each of the rooms to look like the sets, and it's a very different experience in VR. I wish you guys could see it in full 3D because it gives you a sense of actually being there and gives you a much better sense of scale of things. Some of the things are not as big as you would think or as they look on TV, and I would imagine the experience would be much the same if you were on set. But you can go into the turbo lifts, you can go into the various decks, you can also control some of the aspects of the ship. You can, say, hit the warp button. And woohoo! So again, the music is not actually from the show, but they did a very good job giving it that 90s sound to it. You know, it sounds like it came out of a 90s sci-fi TV show. Yes, I'm drinking my cup of Flat Earth Tears with a smile. In fact, I'll go to 10 forward here and we'll drink some Flat Earth Tears. That's cool. You can see the rainbow streaks of stars going by, and it actually is in 3D. Joseph says they use a transporter to send Picard's waste products to the Ferengi homeworld. Sean asked, did I notify them in my description of the situation that FE Corps was hitting many channels for this? Yes, I did, Sean. I specifically linked to both Sly's and Red's channels, and I asked them to fix that, so hopefully they'll respond. So there's Deep Space Nine. For fans of Star Trek, you might know that as a spin-off series from Next Generation. And again, they do a really nice homage to the original music, but it's not from any of those shows. Alright, so let's see here. So, you can go to various parts of the ship. Deck 10, 10 forward. 10 forward. My computer's probably going to lag here. They implemented this complex... oh man, I'm probably lagging real hard here. I might be even roboting my voice, I'm not even sure. Come on, baby, you can do it. I forgot they did that. They did this whole crazy turbo lift system. Here we go. Okay. So now it's going to load the 10th deck 10 here. Let me see here. Graphics quality.
That is not a weakness. That is life.
I didn't know it did that. So, yeah, I dropped the graphics quality down here to hopefully improve the frame rate. So, yeah, here's 10 forward. So this was another popular setting for the show. Remember when the thought of having electronics this small with screens like that was futuristic? Yeah, not anymore. Star Trek always was good at envisioning future technology. Yeah, there's a bottle of Flat Earth tears for you. It's kind of cool, they added some volume to it. 3D chess. Can I pick up the pieces? Nope. No luck. Another one of these weird 5 o'clock shadow people. But at least they don't have Santa hats on anymore. So yeah, the process of modding it was pretty simple for the removal of the Santa hats. All you have to do is unpack the game files with a single program. And then literally just delete all the models for the Santa hats and put the files back into the game. That simple. It actually doesn't take very long. It takes maybe 2 minutes. So it's a pretty simple process. Like I said, what was the name of that program? Quick BMS, I think is what it was called, to unpack the files. So let's see here. You can go to the battle bridge. The main shuttle bay is kind of interesting. Come on. Don't crash. You're kidding me. Mark Sargent just did a video making fun of flat earthers? Has he come out as actually being a Poe? Mark Sargent, for those who don't know, is one of the most famous or infamous flat earthers, a central figure in the Behind the Curve documentary. It's an iPhone commercial for an iPhone that is foolproof.
That is not a weakness. That is life.
So, from streaming, I think my frame rate is suffering here quite a bit. But, yeah, this was something that was never seen on the show, but it was the main shuttle bay. They always showed the smaller shuttle bays because they didn't have the budget to actually build this set. But as all true nerds will know, it's there on the blueprints. They just never showed it. Yeah, you can even go in some of the larger shuttles, which is kind of cool. You can even pilot them, but I'm not going to do that with the frame rate like it is right now. But, yeah, that's cool. Let's see, if you come over here, you've got a runabout, one of the big shuttles from the Deep Space Nine show. So you can open the doors. And yeah, you can kind of go into the runabout, but it's buggy in this version. It works a lot better in version 10. Whoa, speaking of buggy, don't go up the ladders in VR. Does not work. Good to know. Alright, let's get out of this section. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I know where it would be good. Let's go to main engineering. Where'd the chat window go? I think it's hiding somewhere in the turbo lift. Alright, where's my chat window? There it is. Joseph asks, but what, strictly speaking, is a true nerd? Well, a true nerd is someone who is so nerdy they remember that in the original Deep Space Nine pilot episode, it was the Enterprise D that delivered the runabouts to Deep Space Nine. So, yeah, that's a true nerd quiz right there. A geek, well, actually, I guess is it a nerd or a geek? I can never remember which one's which. Maybe it's a true geek then. So, yeah, I'm probably both. And I would be geeking out on astronomy tonight, except it's raining outside, so this is the alternative. I wanted to do some sort of live stream to celebrate the Flat Earth defeat, the great Flat Earth defeat of 2019 on Astronomy Live's channel. But, couldn't do astronomy with a telescope with it raining, so we're doing this instead. Okay, that does nothing. The buttons, they do nothing. So yeah, main engineering. Got the warp core going. Oh, that's cool. So cool to see this in VR. Got the dilithium chamber. See, this is me geeking out right now, or nerding out, whatever it is. They did a really fantastic job modeling all of this. I'm not going to try to go up through there or down through there, because it's also easy to break. Unfortunately, it was in a state of assembly, I guess. It was still definitely being built when they got the cease and desist. So it's pretty easy to find bugs and end up floating in space away from the ship if you do the wrong thing. Maybe it was version 10 that you could simulate a warp core breach. It was one of the versions anyway. I know there's a way to do it. Yeah, storm clouds can be quite inconsiderate. A true nerd drives 220 miles one way to get a signature from his favorite sci-fi actor ever and asks him one question which is so obscure it confuses the actor, who then tells you to get lost as you cry. Oh dear, that sounds awfully specific. Hallel Finder. Sorry, Hallel Finder. You just failed the nerd test. You called this the Enterprise E. This is the Enterprise D. Yes, Geordi LaForge would often be seen here on this set, doing Geordi things, trying to keep the warp core from exploding. It'd be nice if I could go up to that upper level, but it's not letting me. That doesn't look like a surface I should be able to teleport to. And it's, yeah, all teleport locomotion in VR to try to reduce motion sickness. Unfortunately, they never released a what they call smooth locomotion version, where you could walk around with the thumbsticks and just go forward and backwards. That would be nice. Sorry, Hallel. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. That's okay, we'll give you Data's cat as a consolation prize. So, yeah, I think they called these Akudograms. Michael Akuda drew these diagrams of the Enterprise and stuff. So yeah, you can see where we just were. The main shuttle bay is up here. Oop, my sensors are not seeing my hands for some reason. Here. So yeah, we were just up here in the main shuttle bay area, and they never actually showed that part on the show. They showed the smaller secondary shuttle bays because they couldn't afford the budget for the main shuttle bay set. So cell control. Data definitely killed that cat. Yeah, I think somebody once pointed out that it's a different breed of cat in different episodes, and yet he calls it Spot every time, so it makes you wonder, doesn't it? So yeah, this is like the Jeffries tubes, little crawlways and stuff, and yeah, it actually does feel claustrophobic in here. It's kind of wild. But this was a set here. Piece of the ship they only showed in one episode, I think, and this was nacelle control. And they had, this is actually screen accurate, they had this on screen. These are just like photovoltaic cells just laying around the set for no reason. And yeah, I don't know how many nerds out there remember this episode, but Deanna Troi was getting like psychic flashbacks of somebody, I forget the exact details, but they were murdered or they leapt to their deaths or something, or she thought they did. It was a kind of a weird episode. But they got vaporized in the energy beam there, whatever. Probably one of the more forgettable episodes. Come here, give me that. Give me that. Ooh, there's buttons on it. Oop. Didn't mean to hit the comm badge. Aw, I want to be able to press the buttons. Yeah. These days we would look at this kind of device and be like, why has it got physical buttons? Why isn't it just a giant touchpad? It's amazing how quickly technology surpassed where we thought the future would be in a few hundred years back in, late 1980s, early 1990s even. Alright. Isn't that from the base on Indoor? Yeah, it did look like the set from the base on Indoor. They probably got some inspiration from there. Sam, you remember a quote from that episode? I bet you're right about. You know what you have to do. I think that does come from that episode. Gosh. Requiem. I wish I could approve your comment, but I can't actually approve it in VR here. Not seeing any warp drives yet. That was actually I think that was supposed to be the inside of the warp drive, what we were just looking at there with that energy beam and that long sort of hallway back there. That was supposed to be like the inside of the warp drive. I'm guessing Al is in a VR headset. Yes. Yeah, I can see your guys' comments, but I can't actually like push buttons on them or anything. It's just sort of a floating two-dimensional window of your comments right here in front of me. I know you guys can't see it, but I can. Which is handy because, like, if you have to do something with OBS Studio, you can tinker with it without fear that you'll accidentally show your own stream key or something. So, for safety reasons, it's actually probably good. Ooh, man, some of those procedurally generated heads are just hideous. I mean, they're all kind of horrific creations, I guess, but some are worse than others. Like, again, that guy's that's just not right. I don't know, Uncanny Valley, big time on that. So, I'm now lost somewhere in the ship, looking for sickbay. You would think, and again, extreme nerds here that they actually laid out these rooms the way that they are on the official blueprints. There was a set of blueprints that you could get. I know because, yeah, I'm sad. I actually have a set of blueprints for the entire ship. And they actually put the rooms where they're supposed to be. So, you would think, you know, if you're laying out the rooms on a ship, and you got sickbay, you would want to make that a little closer to the elevator or something, a little easier to get to, because, you know, if you got wounded people or sick people, you want to be able to get them into sickbay quickly, right? I guess they would just beam them in, but... brain scan of some sort. Yeah, and all these NPC characters, while it is cool that they put that in here, it's a bit like looking at a animatronic at Disney, actually. You know, the skin texture is trying to be real, but it doesn't really, you know, it's just Uncanny Valley. It doesn't look like a person, it just looks like a machine. It's pressing buttons. Oh, huh. No Beverly Crusher model, just some random dude in a red shirt who is for some reason inhabiting Beverly Crusher's seat. And yeah, you can grab, I can do it, you can grab the hypo spray and give yourself an injection of who knows what. You can also grab the phaser. I gotta sort of position myself so I can room scale up to it. Ow! Without hitting myself. Let's see here. Okay, do it this way. Kind of have to strategically... I can't reach it. Alright, try this again. Alright. So, yes, now I have a phaser. Hooray. Type 1 phaser for you nerds out there. Of which I am one. So, yeah, you can totally... Oh dear. I've done a thing. Mistakes were made. I immediately regret this decision. Sorry. Oh, is that security coming in? Oh dear, I've accidentally gone on a rampage. Oh no, but she doesn't seem to care, just like an animatronic at Disney. Yeah, the future still has rolling chairs, along with things that look like iPads, but they're worse. But again, when the show was created, like, that was futuristic. Oh, somebody else. Oh, he's down. Tango down. His head's through the floor. Come Come on, get your head out of the floor. Oh dear. Oh, this... The ragdoll physics are, a little unexpected. Sick base supply. Oh, too bad you can't raid that. And yeah, I remember these. These were always on the show, like the red and the blue containers of water. Food-colored water for some reason. And yeah, they always had the really sick person here who needed surgery. Let's see if I can take this phaser with me. Oh dear. Oh dear, we've got another jagged ragdoll. And a bunch of people who don't seem to care. Go into the engine room and shoot the warp coils. Alright, we'll try that. I don't think that'll do anything, but we'll give it a shot. This just got dark very fast, didn't it? And the other cool thing, as you can see, they actually do implement red alert. You heard that alarm, and yeah, the lights are flashing red now. I've officially pissed off the Enterprise. I mean, people put a lot of effort into this crazy thing. It's nuts. Alright, main engineering. We'll go shoot the warp core. Still holding on to my phaser. Eventually, it'd be funny if somebody implemented NPCs who shoot back. I almost wouldn't be surprised, except that, you know, CBS, all that. And this is probably why CBS will never actually approve this project, even though it was free. Nothing happens. That's a shame. Oh, something went flying. Did you guys see that? I saw a panel go flying through main engineering for some reason. I don't know what that was. No sign of Geordi. You're not Geordi. You're not even in a yellow shirt. It's a red shirt. You know what happens to red shirts? Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, no more imposter Geordi sitting in Geordi's chair. Alright, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Don't mind me. Yeah, I think that's all still locked off. Yeah. So they put up force fields and they locked off parts of the ship they hadn't completed yet for the game. But most of the ship is here. Read alert. Oh yeah. That was kind of dumb. I get it, but really? Shuttle Bay 2, Brig, Holodex, 10 forward, computer core. Ooh, stellar cartography. That's a nice one. At least I tried. Requiem. Why isn't the outside of the ship made of warp coils? That's a very good question. They need some more of that unobtainium stuff. Alright, somewhere through here is supposed to be stellar cartography. Ugh. Ah, what's this? Oh no, that's 9 forward, I think. It's another one of these things they never showed on the show, but it was on the blueprints, so the nerds made it. It's another one of these lounges. Not 10 forward, 9 forward, so we're on deck 9, forward part of the ship. That's where it gets the name, 9 forward. I know, it's sad, it's pathetic that I know that. It's really pathetic, I know. I'm a nerd. Phasers to ragdoll. Yeah, there's some serious, funny ragdoll physics. Okay, I don't think it's down this way. Again, I need a map or something. I guess I need to actually refer to those nerdy blueprints I bought when I was a lot younger. And back then, I wouldn't have believed that it would be possible to actually create this in VR on a home PC, you know, any time in my lifetime. But that's the power of computing power. I was just reading up on Cray computers the other day. The original Cray 1 supercomputer was a machine with a stunning speed of 80 megahertz. Yeah, megahertz. That's it. Almost as good as a Pentium. And this was a monstrosity, you know, that universities would use to do heavy-duty number crunching. And I remarked that the shape of the Cray 1 supercomputer kind of resembles a park bench, because you probably wanted to sit on it and wait for it to do whatever it was you told it to do. Alright, here's stellar cartography. Hey Jeff Lucas. Are you planning to do some imaging of GN0539 too? I was going to do that as soon as the weather clears up. Maybe some early morning webcasting stuff. So, yeah, if I see Wesley again, I'll shoot him for sure. Wonder if they have the captain's yacht in this one. Ah, shoot. I think they were going to come out with that in the next version, I want to say. There was something I saw anyway. Maybe it was not this project. It might have been one very much like it. But, yeah, that would have been cool. I don't know if this does anything. I guess not. Nope, nothing pressable there. Well, at least the stars, they're actually rendered in 3D here in stellar cartography, so it's a lot cooler than it probably looks on your screens right now. But here in VR, it actually does render these stars, the star field in 3D. It gives you a sense. It'd be really cool if somebody could mod this to actually turn it into a kind of a proper planetarium where you could plot out the real distances of real stars and stuff, and just see it. Just maybe as its own standalone VR program. Have that. And I know some people have made some astronomy programs in VR. I'm still waiting to see, you know, a really good high quality Space Engine like thing in VR. Is Space Engine available in VR? I don't think it is. It'd be really cool if it were. There is Universe Sandbox too. That might be worth trying sometime. But yeah. Not till fall. Only available at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. I thought I did the math on it, and from here in Florida, it was going to be 45 degrees high at 5 a.m. So it's possible to maybe get an hour on it or so. Certainly won't be crossing the meridian until later, though. Joseph, which raises the question, could we run Fortran on our IMB, I think you mean IBM clones? I suppose so. I think aren't there Fortran compilers out there for IBM? Yeah, stellar cartography, aka Cerebro. Yeah, there's another fun nerd reference. It does look like the Cerebro set, doesn't it? Somebody's going to do a mashup on YouTube if they haven't already. Have Captain Picard in a wheelchair coming into stellar cartography. Alright, let's see. Can I find a turbo lift? That's a question. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's an upgrade right there. I gotta have that. That is a phaser rifle. Oh, oh, it's too bad I can't do a two-handed grip on it. It just switches to the back grip. Oh, give me that. Huh. My hand won't unclench. Give me that. I don't care if I have to go left-handed. There's an upgrade right there. Oh, you get a little holographic reticle there. It's not actually holographic or anything. It's just there. Man. Alright, well, left-handed it is. Let's see if this is any more effective. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, it phased him right off of the ship. I did not expect that. Oh my goodness, they're gonna have to put a ban on these fully automatic assault phasers. Oh, that's terrible. I did not expect him to go flying through the floor like that. Okay, we gotta go back to the warp core one more time. Or somewhere else important. Maybe the battle bridge, I don't know. Want to try some new section of the ship. I didn't know this was in here. He's just laying on the floor there. See, it was irresponsible of him to just leave it laying around fully loaded like that. You just don't do that. That's not good safety. Alright, yay, I found a turbo lift. Oh, dear. I've done a thing. Okay. I have multiple questions. Why am I only seeing the inside of the ship over there? Why is there a shuttlecraft sitting over here? Whoa. Okay. Somehow moving my left hand is moving the shuttle, and my comm badge is in my head. Whoa, okay, this is highly, disorienting. Okay, I'm gonna lay that there. Okay, emergency transport. Okay. Go away. Give me! Okay, well, for some reason I can't pick it up with my right hand. Come on. But I can pick it up with my left hand. Still. That's weird. At least my right hand unclenched itself. Okay, well, at least it beamed me back to the turbo lift. So yeah, they offer that as a function in case weird things happen, because it's buggy and weird things do occasionally happen. So, oh, Picard's quarters, that's interesting. Let's go to the battle bridge. Oh yes, Sam, here's an idea. I'm going to put my phone in my cheap plastic VR thing. There is a way, I think, to sort of tether a mobile VR solution to Steam VR. I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but there's like, I want to say like SteamCat or RiftCat or something that can kind of do something like that. So maybe that was just for the Quest. I'm not sure. I really don't know much about those solutions, but I know there's a way to do something like that. Yeah, Battle Bridge does nothing in terms of buttons, I guess. But yeah, this was another set that was occasionally used on the show. It was their secondary bridge if they had to evacuate from the saucer section. And pretty claustrophobic, actually. It's pretty narrow headroom in here. So, yeah, it's official. I'm taking over this ship. Sorry, you've been relieved of duty. Wow, he just popped straight down to the floor there for some reason. How about you? Oh, just rolls off the chair. Aw, I was hoping to get another pop fly. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Oh man. It just sort of burst out of position. Oh dear. I did a thing again. Uh-oh. Okay, well. Okay. Whoa. Emergency transport. You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that shuttle keeps being there to save me. So I got somewhere to put my phaser down before I transport back. Okay, let's go to Picard's quarters. So, I might be starting to understand. I might be starting to understand why CBS had a problem with this. Oh no, not again. Really? Ugh. Okay. This is getting out of hand. Oh no! My phaser rifle! I guess there's gravity in space, and for some reason there's a very strong gravity source located directly beneath Deep Space Nine. Or maybe Deep Space Nine is a strong gravity source. Oh, now there's someone in here with me. That's really bizarre. Oh my goodness, it's a whole clown car of people in the turbolift. So, yeah, I kind of get the feeling that maybe CBS wasn't totally on board with the Star Trek VR experience where you can also turn it into a murder simulator. Captain Picard. Oh, there's a conference of some sort in Captain Picard's room. Now, how would you like that for a bedroom window? That'd be cool. And again, we have a bathroom with no toilet and sort of a sink. Maybe the toilet comes out of the sink? I don't know. You tell me. Oh dear. Well, I found another phaser. Too bad it's not a rifle, but it is a phaser. Gimme. Okay, for some reason, I can't pick it up. There we go. Give Picard a chance to surrender. He's good at that. Ouch. Sick burn. I think we have a Kirk fan here. One strike down, the rest to fall. Let's hope you two pull their collective fingers out and get on with it. I agree. I definitely agree. Hopefully this also results in a reversal of the Slice Barcane strike. Time will tell. But at the very least, it's a good sign that if you make it very clear to them that the content came from them linking to their own website, they won't have a problem with it, because they're not supposed to. I guess this part of the ship is totally unfinished. Oh well. So yeah, unfortunately the project was not completed, but it definitely offers a more complete experience than, say, Star Trek VR, where, yes, you can fly the ship, and it is a fun game, but you can't get up and walk around the ship or see the rest of it. So as far as walking simulators go for Star Trek, this is probably as good as it gets. Anything else of interest here? Transporter rooms. Okay, we'll finish up in the transporter rooms here. Is the Enterprise supposed to be docked with DS9, or do you just keep teleporting across the quadrant? Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's just floating near Deep Space Nine. It'd be really cool if they actually did this kind of thing with Deep Space Nine. I'd love to see what that looks like in VR and walk around the promenade, walk into Quarks, all that kind of fun stuff. That would be really cool. And I know they had plans with this project to also include the Defiant. They had already actually done sort of a rough draft of the Defiant. It was ready to go, but they never got the chance to release it. It was just after they did a teaser of that they got the takedown notice from CBS, and so they never got to finish it up or release that at all. So a lot of effort went to waste, unfortunately. But fortunately, there were some of us who'd already downloaded the latest versions that they did manage to release, so that's cool. Oh, I wanted to make the transporter go, but I can't. That is not Chief O'Brien. I don't know who that is, but that is definitely not Chief O'Brien. Okay. Well, I think that's gonna do it for me. The NRA is like an NRA. The Enterprise is like an NRA Easter egg hunt. Yeah, it's too bad. They had a they did have a sort of phaser range that was in. It was gonna be in the next version. I think it was in version 10. I can't remember if it was actually released in version 10 in the 2D version of this. I honestly can't remember. But it was about to be released in VR. Was this game you could actually play on a phaser range that was on the ship? They actually showed it. I think they showed something like it on the show once or twice. He's a shapeshifter. Oh my gosh, it's G-Man. That is totally G-Man from Half-Life 2. It's supposed to be procedural, but you can't tell me that's not G-Man right now. For those of you who've played Half-Life 2, that is totally G-Man. If anything, maybe even a higher poly version of G-Man from Half-Life 2. That is disturbing how close... Oh, no, no, no. Come back. Well, somehow... Oh, I did a thing again. Okay. Alright, I'm back on the ship. Alright, transporter room. Okay, wrong transporter room. Please still be there. Ah, no, it re-randomized it. Now he's got the evil Spock goatee. Okay, you're definitely Mirror Universe, whoever you are. Darn, I wanted to keep G-Man around for a while longer. Oh well, you guys saw it. You guys saw it. I got witnesses. They totally ripped off G-Man, so, you know, now Valve and Steam, Valve Corporation's got to hit them with a takedown notice as well. It's like no clip is enabled. Yeah, I accidentally teleported on top of the control panel for the transporter, and somehow that sent me through the ceiling. I'm not sure why. But for those of you who've always wondered what's behind the transporter down this hallway, well, not much. I can't really get back there. Just ran into... I didn't pay attention to my Guardian limits of where I'm supposed to be able to walk. Let's see if I turn around in my room and go like this, go like that. I can kind of walk forward over here and take a look. Yeah, it's just an empty room. Nothing much of interest in there. But yeah, it is extremely buggy, but it is fun and rather interesting to see what these rooms would have looked like in, you know, in person. If you've been on set or whatever, like everything has a different perspective when you see it in VR. You can actually see the scale of things. And like the texture of this control panel looks very real and gives you a sensation like you can almost imagine what it would feel like to run your fingers across it, but of course there's nothing there. So it's just very interesting how it plays with your mind. Like when you come up to a wall in VR, for example, your body naturally wants to stop moving, even if you know that you can actually stick your head right through it. Your mind tells you, hey, that's a wall there, don't hit your head. So, it's kind of interesting how all that works. Come on, kill someone you don't want to. Yeah. Well, he does look like he's from the evil mirror universe, doesn't he? So I think we have to, for the safety of the ship, we've got to stun him. See, it's only one red bar, so I'm pretty sure it's on stun, right? We're going to say it was on stun. And he drops like a sack of potatoes. And in fact, I think he might have broken his spine. Yeah, I don't think he's with us anymore, unfortunately. Now, there's a question. Does it respawn a new No. You just have a body there now. Darn. Well, I should have ragdolled G-Man. Then we could have G-Man hanging around for longer. Okay. For some reason, Transporter Room 1 is refusing to open up now. Probably because I've... Oh, there we go. What about you? Alright, let's see if we can get a different ragdoll here. Oh my. Oh gosh. His torso, it's twisted. They didn't exactly put limits on how much the bones could twist. Look at the kneecaps. Oh my gosh. He's definitely broken to pieces. I didn't think a phaser would do that to somebody. Oh, good. We've got a replacement red shirt. Yep. Insta death. Alright. Take one more pass through this deck here. Just see if we can find another phaser rifle for fun and games. Oh, red shirt's getting away. Gosh. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my goodness. It's so cartoonish the way they just turn into rubber. They didn't set any kind of limits on how much their joints could move when they ragdoll. They just completely flop all over the place. Yeah, this is a nightmare here. That's what this is. I'm gonna have nightmares now. But hey, you guys wanted it. I know you wanted it, so, you know. Send bone to dissolve. Oh gosh, I teleported into this guy. See, and immediately I had this reaction like I felt like I was running into the back of somebody. Alright, let's see if I can get him to ragdoll through the force field. Nope, he wants to go backwards. Nope. So let me pick him up. No, definitely not. Okay. Have you followed one of the NPCs to see where they go? Yeah, they will actually seem to go places sometimes, but they'll just sort of stand there when they get there. Which might make sense if they go to a place like 10 Forward, but when they get to the end of a hallway and there's a force field there, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They just sort of stand there. And of course, you know, most of the little random rooms and stuff don't have anything in them. But I think ultimately with the project, they wanted it to actually have just copy-pasted little rooms and stuff on the sides. Like, this is the crew quarters are a better representation of what that would have looked like, I think. Because there's a lot of escape pods and stuff here where many more of the doors will open up on this deck, if I remember right. What's the name of the program? This is called Stage 9, and unfortunately, it's not officially available anymore, since CBS sent a cease and desist. But of course, many people had already downloaded it, and you can't really put that genie back in the bottle. So, there are ways of finding it if you take to the high seas. I'm not sure that this teleporter is really... Is it really moving still? I don't think it is. Yeah, the turbo lifts here are supposed to actually move and stuff. Let's see. Maybe I can kick it back into gear. Oh, I hear something. Oh, good. It fixed itself. Yeah, they had this whole crazy system where they wanted the turbo lifts to actually follow the paths they're supposed to follow through the ship. Like, they went to that level of crazy detail, and it may not have been the best decision, to be honest, because it's actually hard for the computer to move the player character around that fast in directions like that. It results in glitches and stuff. So yeah, this is what the escape pods looked like. I think there's supposed to be a way to open that up. Maybe? No? Maybe some of the other ones are open? No? Well, you can look through anyway, and you can see, yeah, some seats and stuff. I don't think they ever showed the inside of an escape pod on the show. Anyway. Oh, are you abandoning the ship? We got a deserter here. We can't have that. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, you're supposed to stay at your post. Maybe it's time to think bigger. Just how much damage could the Enterprise do to Bajor? Probably glass it. Oh, we got a fight. You guys see that? Just had a fight, see? Now I gotta play Mr. Worf here and deal with that situation. No fighting. Oh my gosh! He just kicks him out of the way into the wall. I didn't expect that. Let's see where he goes. He goes to a door that leads into space. Oh, actually it goes to the crew lounge. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like this room is more reminiscent of the dining area they had on Enterprise, like the Enterprise show. I don't know why. Maybe just the size of it or something. Not the windows so much. I mean, the windows are all over the place here. I wonder if they pulled the screens here off of the show. I'm pretty sure they never showed this room, but they might have pulled this screen off of one of the shows or movies or something. Or they just made it themselves because, you know, nerds. Science lab. Science lab. Science lab. Escape pod. Oh, you like that? Take to the high seas? Yeah, I'm gonna admit, I stole that from the quartering, so. But you get the idea. It is, I have seen it out there in the wild. In fact, somebody put together a file, a zip file that has like all the final versions. There was apparently a mobile version? I don't know. I never looked into that, but I guess there was a mobile version they were working on. I don't know if it's like a, I would assume it's a much more limited experience in some way. But yeah. Oh, here's Data's quarters. That's cool. And we have another intruder in Data's quarters. You're not Data. Oh, that's cool. They got Data's Sherlock Holmes pipe. Let's see. Yeah, well, let me grab it. Oh well. And a whole room full of people waiting on Data. That's interesting. Oh, is this what I think it is? Oh, cool. I didn't know this was here. Tasha Yar, yeah. She was killed off in what, the first season? Second season? She was killed off pretty early on in the show. Interesting sculpture. I don't really remember that, but I'm guessing it's probably in the show. I do remember the overall layout of the room looking kind of like this, though. Of course, Data being an android, he doesn't actually need a bed or anything else. Yeah, the Tasha Memorial. That was a really nice touch that they did with that. Alright, and one more thing I want to show. They do have alternate versions of the main bridge, which is kind of cool. So we'll finish up here. Oh dear, I did it again. Okay, well... transport. Okay. Well, I'm curious what happens. Okay, ragdoll. And then move the... This ought to be interesting. This might break the game, actually. Oh, nope. He just... he just phases right through the floor. I was wondering what would happen if you ragdolled somebody and then moved the, turbo lift. Alright, so... let's go ahead and deactivate red alert. Or maybe not. Oh, right, I gotta drop the phaser. Oh, no, I reactivated it. There we go. No more red alert. And then you can change it to Season 1. Oh, my phaser went away. Oh well. And so did the NPCs. So yeah, in Season 1 they actually did have these tracks on the floor for chairs to be able to pull out from each of these consoles. And the paneling on the sides was different and kind of grungier, I guess. The chairs were different. All kinds of stuff. Then we have seasons 2 through 7. So this is the one most people would remember from watching most episodes of the show. It would look more like this. And they also have the plaque on the wall here, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of detail there. You can get right up to it. It's kind of an Easter egg, but they actually show Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek. Right there is Admiral Gene Roddenberry, Admiral Rick Berman, so on and so forth. The creators of the show are actually listed here on the plaque. So that's kind of cool. Skin of Evil, Season 1, almost certain. Yeah, there you go. I do remember that name, Skin of Evil. And I think you're right about Season 1, because it was still those horrible jumpsuit uniforms they had to start with. And they also did the Yesterday's Enterprise bridge, which I thought was a really cool bridge. Sort of a militaristic take on the Enterprise bridge from the episode Yesterday's Enterprise. where the Federation is at war with the Klingons and outnumbered and surrounded, and they actually show that there. So, yeah, that's cool how they actually did all that. It feels smaller because they've raised up so much more of the bridge here to this higher level. It makes the whole room feel shorter and smaller. At least standing on it, that's what it feels like. On the show, though, it just gave it a very cool look. Let's see. I don't think I can activate Red Alert from the console, but I can probably do it from the comm badge, I think. Red Alert, yeah. Oh, it didn't actually change the lighting. Oh, that's too bad. I would have loved to see, like, the dark blue lighting they did on that episode. Okay. Okay, and then All Good Things, the final episode of Next Generation. The Future Enterprise Bridge, which is just red all the time, because, you know, badass and all that. My headset's kind of wigging out there. I'm probably... Am I too close to a sensor, maybe? I don't know. So yeah, yesterday's Enterprise Bridge, right before they filmed Generations. You had this sort of larger raised up area where the Commander and Deanna Troi are supposed to sit, or whoever. I guess, yeah, that's right, in the episode in, like, the future timeline, Troi had been killed or something. But whatever. We're supposed to have a couple people up here, and then... Well, they even redid the striping there on the doors. That's cool. Alright, and then Generations Bridge. So, there you go. So yeah, you got some additional consoles over here. They really made the bridge look busy for the movie. This was for the Generations movie. And they brought back the auxiliary side seats for, like, the poor VIPs who just barely get half a seat to sit on. And then additional seats here on the side for people to dramatically fly from their consoles and land on the floor when the inevitable action scene battle breaks out and they start tossing rocks all over the bridge. No, seriously, they throw rocks all over the bridge to make it look damaged. Oh, they got rid of the window up at the top? No, in the movie the window's up at the top, but here I think they just didn't render the stars through the window on the Generations bridge. But yeah, extra handrails because, you know, hang on, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for this, but you guys can check this out if you find it on the high seas. Let me know how it goes, and if you want some help, removing the Santa hats that all the NPCs have by default, just let me know, and I'll shoot you a link to the instructions on how to do it. It's an unlisted video, so I don't really want to just post that publicly for everyone to see and give it unwarranted attention that the person who made it may not actually want. I forget where I found it. I found a link to it somewhere. It was on Reddit or something. But just in case they don't want that out there too publicly, just send me a message here and leave a comment or whatever and give me a way to get in touch with you, and I'll shoot you a link to the instructions on that if you want. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Again, just a goofy little stream to celebrate tonight, the victory over FE Core. I'm probably not going to keep this up in case I get a copyright strike from CBS Viacom or something for infringing on the Star Trek license. Sorry, CBS, this isn't a fan film. It's not. I'm not releasing the mod. I'm just, you know, enjoying it. And wishing you guys hadn't taken this down off the internet, because this was an awesome project. Alright. Well, have a good night, folks. Clear skies, and as soon as I get clear skies, I will try to do another deep space webcast with the telescope as soon as the conditions allow. But it was raining outside. I could hear it on the windows even as I was doing this stream tonight, so that was definitely not in the cards. But maybe later this weekend or something. Just stay tuned and see. And as soon as I get some clear skies, I'll try to give you guys an update on the community tab of the channel here to let you know when the stream is going to be. Alright, good night, folks.